Howdy everybody, Graz here from the GKBC. I am here for the return of Comic Book Sunday. um, so basically what I'm doing today is I'm going to talk to you about a graphic novel that is on the 100 Greatest Graphic Novels of All Time book, or in that book. I don't think I brought it over here, so that's fine. I think this is number 96. Maybe. It'll be in the title and the description. The actual number. But anyway, it is Powers. Who Killed Retro Girl? Now, instead of just Who Killed Retro Girl, which is just the first section in this, I got the Omnibus, which is the entire run of Powers, and I read the whole thing, all 1,300 pages, almost. It's 1,296. And I'm going to talk about the whole thing, not just Retro Girl. So I've got my regular downs and ups, Goodreads information, and then some finishing thoughts on what I think about the ranking placing of this in the list. So I'll just get to it. For the downs, and I might show you a little bit of the artwork, but I have to be careful because there is some nudity and there's some stuff that's extremely graphically gory. Because people just get melted and stuff in here. But okay, the downs first. Number one, the layout is very confusing at times. Like, you've got the main characters in an office talking, and half the time it's going on the one page, left to right, it's on the one page, and then it goes to the next page left to right. But then half of the other time, it goes both pages left to right all the way across and then back. And it's like, okay, you have to spend a little bit of time each time you turn a page seeing which it is. And that was kind of taking the person out of the reading. And then at other times there's a news feed on the bottom that you have to read too. So it's like you're reading two stories concurrently, and you have to keep on going back to see what it's confusing at times. I get it. It's supposed to be read like you're living it in real time. I get that, but it's still kind of confusing. Number two, the story is convoluted, and it's not in any special order, so it's hard to keep things straight on where you're at, because the first story is Who Killed Retro Girl. So Retro Girl is dead on page 1. That's not really a spoiler. It's the hook of the whole series. But then later, they do a flashback where she's still alive, and you think, well, wait, did she die? What is this? And it's kind of tough because, and it's almost like a story told in reverse with. Okay. Good thing this isn't radio because I'm going to use my hands. Here's the death of Retro Girl, and then the investigation into that, and then there's a flashback, and then they're back to the real life investigations of why heroes are being killed, and then there's a flashback, and then there's a later flashback, and then so it's all over the place, and it all kind of coalesces at the end, but it's a pain trying to figure out where you're at sometimes, especially in a book this big that you're trying to hold that weighs about 40 stinking pounds. Not really, but I mean, seriously, listen to this. So, I mean, it's a big boy. Number 3, oh my lord. The cast of characters is way big. It's huge. There's a million heroes, there's a million bad guys, there's normal people, and you're supposed to remember them all as you go. And there's no way unless you make your own spreadsheet or wall chart. It's impossible to keep them all straight, except for the few main characters, because some of them even look alike, and it gets. And then when you're in the flashbacks, and the people that you're used to at a certain age are now young, how are you going to figure that out? Okay, number 4. It says it at times for certain individual superheroes, but it doesn't really, like, right in your face tell you why the heroes are being killed. Because it seems like every investigation there's a new dead hero. And why? Why are people killing the Powers? Because they act like gods? Okay. But, you know, is that it? What else is there? And, you know, most of the downs on this are things that are hard to understand because of the layout and the stuff like that. So, but number 5, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's very graphic. I mean, there's sex, there's gory deaths. There's a scene where a woman or a man just blows his head up on his own from the inside, and stuff just goes everywhere. People get splattered. It's pretty gross. It can be very gory. It can actually be a trigger for some people. I don't normally talk about the triggers, but that's, considering how bad it really... I mean, the Pope is melted in one shot. So I'm actually not going to show you any of the artwork, because it's good. I'll show you the front of the thing again. That's the best thing I can do. Okay, now those are my downs, and really most of it is the layout of the story and the pages. I mean, if that was kind of tightened up some, then this, I mean, it's already rated pretty high in my opinion. So, but okay, moving to the ups. I'm flying through these. See what I did there? Powers flying. Ha ha ha. Okay, ups. Oh, I'm sorry for this, everybody. Excuse me. Oh, and I'd like to take a moment to say thanks to AJ, because she's running the camera tonight.
Hi.
The doctor's downstairs getting out some of her energy. She goes downstairs and paces. Gets steps on her Fitbit app thing. Okay, now my ups. Number 1, the dynamic between the two main characters, Walker and Dina, who are the two on this cover here. That's Walker, the male, and Dina is the female. And their dynamic is really cool. It's funny because you think it's sexual tension, and you're like, okay, just get to it, just do it, but it's really not. It's the start of a genuine love-hate friendship, and I'm sure people out there will understand exactly what I mean. And I liked that. That was written really well. Number 2, the color scheme. I guess, here you go, I just opened it up. The color scheme is very dark and minimalistic, and it really adds to the story. It's like a character all in itself. It's the color scheme. Now, it does make some of the bubbles hard to read. And again, that goes back to the layout. The bubbles are laid out really confusing at times. You know, like this one is from one character, and then this one's from another character, but this one and this one are from the first character, and then this one, which is actually like touching this one and mixed, but has the line. It's what knocked it down a couple of marks. Number 3, Walker, the main male here. His overreaching arc is sad, fabulous, and mesmerizing, because he's the main character of the book. And I'm not going to give you any real spoilers about him. Just know that you're going to learn everything you want to know about him by the time you're done reading. Except for one very, very important thing. Where did he come from? You're not going to get that unless I missed it, but I don't think I'm like 99% sure I didn't miss it. But his arc is what drives the whole thing. It's really neat. Number 4, Dina, the female lead, is a bad mamma jamma. She's a non-powered human, and she can kick the living crap out of certain powered bad guys. It's pretty cool. I mean, there's this group of triplets who protect one of the main bad dudes, and they have they're shown as powers in one part, and they're like, we're not going to let you through. And she goes, Hmm? And then she just beats the snot out of all three of them at the same time. It's really cool. She's a bad dude on her own. And I love her. She's probably my favorite character in here. The superpowered people are secondary. This is like the opposite of Justice League. We're looking at the people dealing with it. It's pretty neat. And I have a thought at the end that you're gonna like. Number 5. There's a character in the opening story who killed Retro Girl. It's this little girl called Callista. She's a huge part of it. She even helps Walker figure out certain parts of the investigation. And then as soon as that first one's gone, poof, she's gone. She's like shifted off to an orphanage or a home or something, and she's just gone. Where'd she go? She was part of the story, and this might be a little graphic. It's in the book, though. I apologize. I mean, we need to know if she ever found out what a clitoris was, because she asks everybody that. That's her first question.
According to M&M, she should watch the Discovery Channel.
I love it. AJ with the ultimate zinger there. Now, what's neat in here is there are scenes that make it look like it's and there's dialogue. It's sending up or making fun of Alan Moore and Watchmen. You can tell. Because there's normal people that don't have powers that are after the powered people. And there's little, you can see that there's little Easter eggs all the way through nodding to Alan Moore and kind of giving him a, hey, kind of a thing. Excuse me. So it's kind of neat. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever read Watchmen, but the last panel is basically a giant alien, squid alien that looks like a big vagina that took over New York. And in this, there's these warehouses that are these long, short warehouses, and the light on them make it look like 3 people are bent over facing away from you. It's just little things like that. It's you have to have read Watchmen to catch them, but it's pretty cool. Okay, that's my downs and ups. Now I'm going to give you the numbers. This is Powers Omnibus, Volume 1. It says Volume 1, but it's the only one. This is the entire run. And it's by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming. Oeming. And since it's so good, the coloring is done by Pat Garrahy and Pete Pantazis. The lettering is by Pat Garrahy and Ken Bruzenik. So, this is 1,296 pages, and this was published in 2015. On Goodreads, this is a 4.46. I'm sure if you went on like all the individual things, you'd get the individual ratings, like on Power or Retro Girl and whatnot, but this is just for the Omnibus. And that's across 37 ratings and 3 reviews, and that includes mine. And mine was actually lower than the Goodreads rating, because if you times the Goodreads rating by 2, you get an 8.92, and I gave it an 8.52, which is 4.26 out of 5. Anyway, that's Powers. Might want to watch doing that. I'm going to disembowel myself with this beast. Powers, Omnibus, Volume 1 by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming. Downs and ups. If you've read this, let me know. If you haven't and want to, and I helped you decide to read it, please let me know that too. I do heartily recommend this. Like I said, this was number 96 in my list. Or maybe 95. The correct number will be on the title and in the description. But yeah, that's Powers. Now, tomorrow I might not do a video But the day after Tuesday, I will be putting out my final video of this, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. So look out for that. Tad will be putting out his video on that too, from Tad Reads Books and Stuff. It's our Marvel-ous team up. Our homage to Michael K. Vaughan and Steve Donahue in their World's Finest. I'll tag all 3 of those channels below. Anyway, that's all I have for you tonight. Again, let me know if I've made you want to read Powers, or if you'd like me to talk more in depth about any of it. I can do a spoilery video. I've been kind of trying to just talk about the stuff that sticks out to me without giving away a lot of the story. But let me know if you want me to talk more in depth, because I can do that. Also, we got a Dolores Claiborne duology coming. The book and the movie, which are completely different animals. So that's coming soon. But until next time, this is Graz, that's AJ, and read more.